as we will say many times, you want to play to your strength.
Sure.
Right? I don't really care what your weaknesses are. We just want to abuse your strengths. We want to maximize your strengths and just take those and focus on those as your unique ability and blow those up. Everything else that you've gone through 82 years of education to go work on your weaknesses and improve your struggle in math or English or whatever it was.
God, I hate that word.
Bye.
I hate that word, weaknesses. It's it's skills you have and skills you don't have.
Well, and so this is really all about optimizing, maximizing those strengths.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Welcome to the whole wealth journey.
Wealth with a Y. What does that mean?
What does that mean? Are we spelling it funny?
No, I think it's
We're using the word Y.
the word Y, right?
Okay, good.
Not the letter Y, the actual word Y.
Well, I know why.
Why?
Because we want to help people get on their path. Then the path is all about their why.
And it's about aligning your finances with the people, the experience, and the passions that give their lives true meaning.
It's getting way beyond the bank statements, the brokerage statements, the trust documents, the life insurance, and taking a deeper dive into your why.
Well, admittedly, we're not for everyone. This is different. We're for the bold ones who really want to dive deeper and seek a life that resonates with who they really are at their core, who finds value in vulnerability.
Well,
You and I do.
you and I do, and that's where we want to play, but not everybody is comfortable with that vulnerability.
Maybe we should introduce ourselves. What do you think?
Oh, that's a good idea. Jim Gebhardt.
And I'm Matthew Grishman. We are the co-creators of the podcast, The Whole Wealth Journey. Ready to find your why? Then let's get started and get you one step closer to unlocking your inner wealth and well-being. So what are you grateful for today?
What am I grateful for today? It is absolutely the most joyous, fabulous news of the year.
What?
My niece had her second baby boy,
Nice.
and he was born yesterday. 7 pounds, 5 ounces.
Ooh, little guy.
Born at 8 o'clock in the morning, and his name is Luca James.
Nice.
I am the James. His middle name is after me.
That's very cool.
And I was quite touched by that. I had a sneak preview of that when I was there in April. They let me know that that was happening. But Luca James was brought into the world yesterday, and he is a handsome little guy. I get to see him in October. Beth and Jack are coming along to go look at schools while I'm strategic coaching. They're going to go see a couple of the schools in Chicago. And then we're going to go spend a little time with the family out in the suburbs.
Nice.
So good.
That's awesome. New babies are wonderful.
Oh, God. It's amazing. How about you?
I'm grateful today. I'm grateful for my Lucas James. You have a Luca James. I have a Lucas James.
Nice.
Yeah. Only my Lucas James is 21 years old. And he just recently turned 21 years old. What I'm most grateful for is watching that young man come into himself. He's not got all the answers in life that he's looking for yet. I mean,
Who does at 21?
right.
Or 51?
I was going to say at 52.
Or 61?
I mean, I've got more answers than I used to have, but I still don't have all the answers. He's found someone. He's found a woman who just seems to be an incredibly good fit for him. She accepts him for who he is, and she is just incredible. She's sweet. She's wonderful. She's kind. She's energetic. And she's just got this loving personality about her, this open, warm, loving personality about her that has pulled something out of him that I've never seen before. So I have an incredible amount of gratitude that although Lucas is still trying to figure some stuff out,
Of course.
he's happy and he's enjoying himself and
Well,
just
love,
living a great life.
What do they say about love?
I don't know.
When you find your mate completes you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And since most of us are walking around as incomplete, he's probably feeling a level of wholeness and completeness he's never felt before.
Oh, absolutely. Boy, does that tease up a whole episode we could do on codependency and how we how we wait for others to complete the rest of us before we complete ourselves and go out and find those others. But
Sure.
we'll do that another time.
Sure.
That's
We have lots of programming for that.
we have lots of relationship with self coming up, but I think we're still in the middle of our curriculum where we finished unpacking the story.
Now we got to define it.
Now that we've unpacked it a little bit, we've got to get a little clearer, and we got to define the story, which is really the next big part of the process here. Defining the story really becomes that bridge between where you are and where you want to go.
Right.
We've had the conversation about the people, the places, the passions, the play, the prosperity, the different aspects of wealth that make up who you are. We've taken that inventory. We've spent some time talking about how we take that inventory, how we treat our personal balance sheet like a business balance sheet. And now that we have this idea of who we are, where we are, now we're going to start uncovering a little bit more of where we're going.
Well, for pushing 30 years now, most of the clients that I've met with have been somewhere between the ages of 40 and 65. And they've had a bunch of life experience up to that point. And they've been marching down the trail and collecting their this and that's and their bags of money in different shapes and sizes and accounts and structures. And life's busy and I just keep going. And there's not been very much intentionality behind it. And that's why the inventory exercise is so critically important because it's, I mean, how many times have you and I seen this where really it's one of the first times in their adult lifetime where they have assembled all of the information and then unpacked it all with us in a conference room. The general reaction is a little bit of awe on their part, like, wow, that's a lot of moving pieces and whew, wow, right? And so now we actually get to go reassemble the puzzle piece with some intentionality.
Right, right.
And that's the fun part in this bridge building in terms of, here's where you are, and you've started to define where you'd like to go.
Yep.
And how do we reassemble these pieces in such a way that get you there?
Yeah.
And, ideally get you there faster than perhaps you would have on your own. We can help accelerate that progress.
Sure. Well, because think about it. The acceleration comes from what you and I are actually doing in this part of the process, which is really, this part of the process really is an extension of the discovery. We're learning more about who you are in this process. We're going up 30,000 feet.
Yeah.
We're
getting away from all the statements and all the paper and all the accounts and all the blah, 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 blah.
In the good old days, you and I referred to this part of our process as the top of the mountain meeting.
Right.
Right. This idea of defining your story by getting up, to let's call it 30,000 feet. Envision that for a second.
Well, when you're up there, do you know how quiet it is when you're up there?
Yeah.
I've only been up to 300 feet parasailing.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah.
And I have a fear of heights that I don't know if I've ever talked about on the show, but it's about a 10-year-old new phenomenon for me.
The fear of heights?
Fear of heights.
That's only been around 10 years for you?
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was a whole life kind of thing.
No, it was a sudden kind of out of nowhere, like, oh, my God, where did this come from?
Did something trigger it?
I wish I could remember.
But you just felt like it's been around about a decade.
Yeah. And so we're on vacation over Thanksgiving 8 years ago. Google reminded me of that with a slideshow the other day.
Nice.
And we were all, two families, we were all going parasailing. And Grant and I did not want to do this.
I was going to say, what was your initial reaction to the suggestion?
Not a good idea for the big fella and his little guy.
Right.
So we got about half of the group done, and the wind picked up, and they said, Vabats, no more. Tomorrow. Come back tomorrow, and we'll do the rest of you tomorrow.
Okay.
I was like, oh, great. I get to sleep on it some more because I didn't go in the first half, right?
Yeah,
I was dragging my feet. I'm not going.
Oh, so were you still contemplating at this point, or were you out?
No, we were doing it.
Oh, you were going to do it.
Grant and I were knuckle buddies, and we were going to white knuckle this together.
Wow.
And so they let us out the next day, 300 feet on a line up over the Sea of Cortez. Oh, my other fear is sharks in the ocean. So I got an idea. Let's put the big fella.
Let's dangle some bait over the ocean.
Yeah, exactly. Floating 300 feet above the Sea of Cortez. I realize there's no sharks there, but
Oh,
But what-
contraire.
But what I noticed when I got up there was how quiet it was.
Sure.
And Grant and I just looked at one another and we were like, this is awesome. It's so cool. We can't hear any of that down there. And just the breeze blowing. Oh my God, it was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
So this exercise is intentionally supposed to be like that.
Yeah,
is to get above the noise.
Where's your quiet place?
Right? Get above it all.
Yeah.
So that you've got the time and the space to be able to try to let some of this clarity come.
That's how you and I at times have helped clients tap into that quiet, because one of the things you introduced me to a long time ago was this app called Calm. Tamara Levitt has created, to me, one of the most revolutionary pieces of technology on planet Earth, and that is this app called Calm, where
CALM.
Yeah, she has assembled initially what it was.
We should be
created
sponsored
to do.
by them.
We should. We talk about it a lot, but you know what? I am sponsored by them. We may not get financial deposits in the bank for talking about it and dropping
We
reference,
get other deposits.
but I've gotten many spiritual deposits and fulfillment deposits based on my relationship with Tamara and her app and all of the people that go into creating its content. It was originally created as a mindful meditation app where Tamara would talk to you for 10 minutes about whatever's going on in the day.
Right.
Always had a theme. And she still does that, the Daily Calm. But now you have Jay Shetty participating.
Master classes.
Shaquille O'Neal has done a whole master class.
Yeah,
LeBron
LeBron
James. It's cool stuff. And one of the things that when I was an early subscriber that has stuck with me now for a long time is how Tamara, who's from Toronto, big city, talks about how to bring that quiet into your life no matter where you are. And this, I think, was what springboarded us into this activity and into this part of our process, is how she talks about being able to sit in a New York City subway with all of the noise around her and through breathing and meditation be able to find the quiet within the noise. It doesn't shut the noise off. You're still aware of all the noise, but somehow internally being able to quiet your mind enough to find a moment of clarity despite the noise around you. So one of the things that we've started to do, I know a lot in the Roseville office, we've done this together with clients in the Lafayette office, is starting to have this conversation about where's your quiet place? Where do you feel 30,000 feet up in the air?
13th hole at Pacific Dunes.
Then let's go there right now.
Oh, I'm there.
Right? Close your eyes.
I spend most of my time there.
Perfect. Beautiful. And if you can learn to do that with your eyes open, even better. But let's start with our eyes closed and let's get to that place where we can get on top of whatever your mountain is and have this really clear 360-degree view where it is absolutely quiet. And we have the space to vision, to think,
To be.
Absolutely. Because when we're up there, what we're trying to do is answer three critical questions.
What's for lunch? Who wins the election?
And
who wins the World Series?
perfect. I love them. We'll do that next time.
Okay.
Those are good.
All right.
How do you get things done? First and foremost, as a human, when we get all the distraction out of the way, how do you actually operate and get things done? And we have a tool that we'll talk about and do that. How do you see the role of money in your life? And we've got some tools that help us do that. And finally, what are your core values that drive your most important decisions?
We have a lovely exercise for that.
We've got an incredible tool for that as well. So when we go up to this quiet place and we help you get there, this is more of the kind of inventory that we're going to help guide out of you. It's not something we're going to give you. It already exists inside of you. We have tools we've developed to help get that out of you. So being with us here today, let's pause for a second and just because we want you, our tribe, to kind of go through this experience with us right here in the podcast, although we're not sitting in a conference room in Lafayette in your office or Roseville in my office.
We're on the 13th tee at Pacific Dunes.
Yeah, let's be there. Right now, we're out on the middle of Sugar Pine Reservoir on a paddleboard with me.
There you go.
Right? That's my quiet place where on a Monday afternoon, if I need quiet, I can get in the car, drive 1 hour to the Sugar Pine Reservoir outside of Forest Hill, California, and sit out on my paddleboard with no cell coverage. This one place on earth that cell phones have forgotten about.
Shh! Don't let them know.
And there's absolute quiet. It's amazing.
So for most of our listeners as very successful business owners, thriving entrepreneurs, do you think they get a lot of that? Do you think they get a lot of quiet, peaceful time to think or just to be?
Well, I know as one of those, no.
Right.
It's been something that as an entrepreneur, as a serial entrepreneur, I've had to be very intentional about how I get that time built into my day. I had breakfast with a friend this morning where I was lamenting a little bit about I feel a little over my skis. I feel like I've said yes to a lot. I have a lot of commitments out there. And the one thing that seems to be suffering is my ability to have quiet thinking time. And that's important to me. And I need to figure out how I bring that back into my schedule because I had it. It works so well. I was watching you reading a book at 6:30 in the morning on one of our little retreats. I started doing it for a few days, and it worked so well, it stopped.
Of course. Yeah, you bet.
Yeah. So how do I bring that
I did too, by the way. I
in?
just restarted that this week.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, good on
Because it
you.
worked so well, I stopped.
There you go.
I'm a little off course here, so forgive me, but it's one of the reasons we are such big advocates of 2-week vacations, right? I mean, serial entrepreneurs and business owners struggle to take vacation as it is. And if they don't have the right boundaries set up, they're going to bring work with them. They're going to participate on a Zoom call. They're going to check in too much, right? And our dear friend Dan Sullivan talks about these free days, which are 24-hour periods of no work, nothing, right? And I distinctly remember the first time I was in Strategic Coach and our leader, Lee Brower, asked, show of hands, how many of you have taken a 1-week vacation in the past year without doing any work? There were about 40 of us in the room, 35, 40 of us in the room.
Right.
And there were only a couple of us that put our hands up. So by nature, it's very difficult for people to go on a vacation and try to get the quiet space, right? And that's why that second week of the vacation is so critical because you need a couple days to unwind, and then you got a day or two in the middle where you're actually on vacation. Then if you're anything like most of the business owners we work with, a couple of days before you re-entry, you start percolating on, I got to do this, and I got to talk to Susie about that, and oh shit, I got this contract, whatever it is. That's why that second week of vacation is so vital.
Sure.
I know it's a total sidebar.
Yeah.
But
it's the essence of what we're trying to create to be able to uncover this very important part of the financial planning process of the whole wealth journey.
It sure is for us.
Well,
I don't know about many of the compadres in the industry, but for us, this really is the cornerstone of the whole show.
Absolutely. The most important thing we do.
If we don't, I'm not even going to say get this right, but it's like if we don't have an understanding of what really drives you as a human being.
Well, how you get things done and what drives you as a human being.
I mean, how you get things done, what drives you, what are your values, what are your visions, what are you hoping and dreaming to accomplish? If we don't have a sense of that, then with all due respect, what's the money for?
Right. What's the point?
I mean, you want to just go collect it like you're a collector of money?
Yeah, grow it for me. How much are you going to make me?
Yeah, go refer you to...
Do we cheat him in how?
To Bernie Madoff.
Sure.
I'm sure they've reinvented by now.
How much are you going to make me, Bernie?
Right.
Lots.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. First and foremost, right? So hopefully you've taken a minute. Just play with us here today. Get to that place. What is that place for you? What does that quiet place look like? Where is it? Can you take a second and just push pause on the show, close your eyes, and in 3 deep, intentional box breaths, 3 seconds, draw a breath in, 3 seconds, hold the breath, 3 seconds, let the breath out. Can you do 3 of those big box breaths and get yourself to that quiet place?
Wherever it may be.
And then come back to the show and let's start the exercise. Here we go. Okay, how was that? Are you there? Are you on the 13th hole?
Absolutely. I just striped the 4-iron right to about 6 feet below the hole.
Nice. What was the shape? Was it a little bit of a fade, a little bit of a draw?
On that one, you would like to hit a little bit of a draw.
Nice.
Because otherwise, you got to go over this little thing called the Pacific Ocean if you hit a cut.
Right.
I'm trying to avoid that.
Is that what I hit? A cut? Is that what it's called?
Yours is, I know you like a cut of beef.
Right.
You don't want a slice of beef.
No, I like
you want like a cut of beef.
Right.
Yours is traditionally a little bit more of a slice.
Right. Which goes in the ocean. Oh, that's fabulous. All right. Well, you're on the 13th hole at Pacific. I'm out in the middle of Sugar Pine. And now we're going to step into the world of Kathy Kolbe.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kathy, if you're listening, to the tool you created called the Kolbe A.
Or her son, David.
Oh.
Who's a new strategic coach buddy.
Nice. I did not know that. Is David in your class?
No, he was at the conference I went to in Nashville.
Oh, nice. You guys
and
have
we
connected.
got walking in together and looked at the name tag, and I was like, I've never met many Colbys in my life spelled that way.
Right?
You
Any
must
relation?
be some relation. Yeah, that's my mom.
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So thriving business that is one of, many diagnostic tools.
Sure.
You and I have spent a lot of time playing with a lot of these different tools that are out there.
Come on, what entrepreneur hasn't?
I hope so.
Right? Well, come on.
Myers-Briggs being the
Exactly.
stereotypical.
If
right?
you're sitting here, you've at least played with Myers-Briggs.
Sure. This is a
Clifton Strengths. I mean, they're all all sorts of cool analytical stuff.
Yep.
What makes Kathy's tool, the Kolbe A, different?
I think, first of all, it's the simplicity.
Okay.
It's the simplicity of looking at these 4 strengths that either people have or don't have. And as you take any of these, it's so hard. Don't you find it hard not to judge?
Are they to that point? Are they strengths? Because they're either strengths or weaknesses, or are they just qualities?
Sure, that's a better word, is qualities that you either have more of or less of.
Right. It's very important to stay away from judgment of the output, because this is at a foundational level how you operate.
Yeah.
And there's not much you can do to change it.
Hardwired.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's what I think is most unique about Kathy's assessment, because I've taken Myers-Briggs over the course of my life, and the output of that has changed. Kolbe output tends to stay consistent because it's measuring something called the conative wiring within your brain.
Gesundheit.
Right? Exactly. It's the instinctual way with how you handle certain aspects of life. And that's what we're trying to assess in this first diagnostic tool that we use in a very quiet, calming setting. What's your experience with Kathy's work been like?
Well, transformative. At a personal level, I think we have to define it a little bit. I mean, you have these 4 different categories: the fact finder, the follow through, the quick start, and the implementer.
Okay.
These words are just kind of labels that help describe the qualities that somebody that is long in that suit, right? Little card reference.
Sure.
So if you're a fact finder, on a scale of 1 to 10, you're more in the 7, 8, 9, 10 range, or 8, 9, 10 range.
Yeah.
You like the information. You like to research.
Details.
You like details. You're going to take it to the 3rd decimal place. My
Right.
sister, I've never had her do Kolbe. My sister is a brilliant researcher. Dog
Okay.
on a bone will spend hours on this stuff.
Right. She enjoys that.
She's very good at it, and it brings her some joy, right?
And it probably establishes some confidence in her ability to make a decision.
Oh, it's
the more facts.
It's a requirement for her to make a decision.
Okay.
Right. The follow through, just like it describes, is someone that's proficient in follow through, is very good at follow through, at getting stuff done, completing the task.
Right.
Right. Taking it to the finish line.
That's not as easy as it sounds.
Well, not for you and me,
Right.
because we're the 3rd category, which are quick starts.
Right.
Right. The quick start is the quintessential executive summary, 3 bullet points. I don't want to order. Bring me food. Just, boom, 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 boom. Very quick. This is inherently the domain of the entrepreneur.
Yeah.
This is probably, I don't know the stats on it, but I mean, if we had David on the show, I bet it's 80% of entrepreneurs are quick starts.
Rank high in the quick start. Everybody has the quick start within them.
Yeah, but in terms of a
7, 8, or a 9.
a quality that is, their long suit again.
Sure.
And then the last one being the implementer. And this is traditionally somebody that like tactily likes to do stuff. Our longtime assistant, Nancy, she had an 8. I'd never seen an 8 implementer score before. Again, these are all 0 to 10. 10 being the highest. When we did the exercise and we were going through it, I was scratching my head. I'm like, she's an 8. What in the world?
It's a see it to believe it.
And
It's
then-
a touch it to believe it
Then
kind of
I
person.
remembered she was a pottery major in college, right? The person that has a high implementer score is someone that, I'll pick on clients that came into the office years ago, and we went through this exercise with them, and they were arguing over this fence that needed to be repaired because I was asking them about upcoming expenses that we needed to plan for. And,
Sure.
and the wife was like, oh, we've got like 150 feet of fence. And the husband was like, I'll do it. No, we're not paying somebody to do that. I'm going to do that.
Sure.
Who happened to be a contractor, right? So it was a classic example of he was long as an implementer and she was not.
Right.
And as stereotypical as that sounds, that's really a lot of what this boils down to is very stereotypical personas that we realize in people about the researcher.
Sure. I was going to say, how does this help us
Right.
as financial planners to understand these 4 categories and where somebody ranks there?
It's secret sauce for us because we know as we get into certain components to the planning process, if you're strong in fact finder, then, Beavis and Butthead here, we gotta take a deep breath and go way down the rabbit hole with the detail that person requires.
Right. Lots more information for any idea we might bring to the table that helps better their financial lives.
Yeah.
Right. Lots of details.
Versus a quick start that needs, the executive summary and the 3 reasons why this makes sense.
Have you ever come across somebody that has a high score fact finder and a high score quick start?
Yeah. I find that they're a little confused. They're a little stuck when that happens. I have seen that, as we will say many times. You want to play to your strength.
Sure.
Right? This is not about, we have a wonderful client 20 years later she was an intern for me many, many years ago. And she came out of St. Mary's. She had a finance degree and we were talking about everything. I said, okay, great. Here's the deal. I don't really care what your weaknesses are. We just want to abuse your strengths. We want to maximize your strengths and just take those and focus on those as your unique ability and blow those up. Everything else that you've gone through 82 years of education to go work on your weaknesses and improve your struggle in math or English or whatever it was.
God, I hate that word.
Bye.
I hate that word, weaknesses. It's it's skills you have and skills you don't have.
Well, and so this is really all about optimizing, maximizing those strengths.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
And it is so important for us to have a sense of what is the nature of the client, what is their natural
how they're
inclination,
going to get stuff done,
right? I mean, I've told this story before. I'll tell it again. Longtime clients, first time they ever came in, I remember it like it was yesterday. This is 2006 or 7. They come in for a financial planning meeting, introductory,
and they're new, right?
Introductory,
yeah.
No unpacking at this point. This is just a hi, how are you? They were referred by their CPA. And in, I don't know, like 8-9 minutes, the wife stands up. I'm in the middle of my shtick. The wife stands up, shakes my hand, says, thank you very much. It was a pleasure meeting you. We'll talk to you soon. And she embraces with her husband and she walks out of the room.
What'd the husband do?
He sat there. And I probably went into like a cold sweat. Like, what in the world? Did I say something? I mean, I showered
Did you
this
offend
morning.
her?
I can't smell that bad. It's not, the day hasn't been that long, right? Well, it turns out once we did the Colby, she was a 9 quick start and the husband was an 8 fact finder, which explains why he sat there for another hour and a half asking me 88 questions.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
Well, had that been information I knew going into the meeting, that would have been lovely. We don't do that as a precursor. That's not kind of what we do. But this is a wonderful, I mean, we've done it with our team, right?
Sure.
So if you're the quintessential entrepreneur that's a quick start, you had better have people on your team that are exquisite at fact finding and follow through.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Otherwise,
nothing will get done.
Nothing's going to happen.
Well, we've talked a lot about the craft versus the business. The entrepreneur's got 2 businesses they run. There's being the craft, and then there's actually managing the goes-ins and goes-outs of the business, which we started talking about an episode or 2 ago.
Yes, thank you, Michael Gerber.
Right? Exactly.
Yeah.
So if we're great at the craft, we need some help managing the business. And even as quick starts, you and I have had a hard time. Like we're 3 bullet points, we're ready to go. And we have people on our team that go, hey, hang on, slow it down. Let's get a little more information.
That's affectionately referred to as the drive-by delegation.
Exactly. And
because we expect them as quick starts that they can read our mind.
Right.
I don't need to actually take the time to spell out. It's this is what I would like you to do, and here are the 3 steps that I need you to take, and blah, 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 blah.
Yes.
I just expect them to be able to puke on the page, and they can read my mind, and then I can move on.
Well, fortunately, there's an awareness that you and I have developed. And it's an awareness we're trying to help our tribe develop today. And this tool that Kathy's developed, her Colby A, is a pretty cool diagnostic to help you develop some awareness about your own tendencies and how you do things and get things done, so that if you are a quick start like the two of us, you can learn as a quick start how to be good with that. Hey, there's an idea I'm really excited about because the 3 bullet points you told me are ringing a bell in my head. Hey, Allison, would you please take some time to dig into this a little bit more and find out what I'm missing? Where are the blind spots here? What am I not seeing?
Mm-hmm.
And what's really cool is we have people on the team who do that.
Yeah.
You and I also have a tendency as quick starts to have some great ideas, and we've got lots we're going to do with people and help clients accomplish, and lots of to-dos we need to get done. Thankfully, we've got people on the team who are exquisite at the follow-through, that we're starting to build systems into our practice where, as we're sitting here taking notes on our iPads, when we're done with taking notes and we've got all this to-do stuff after a client meeting, it gets fired off to Lindsay.
Goes into a workflow.
And it goes into a workflow where we are told as quick starts, it's now your turn to perform. So we don't have to manage the follow-through. We just become a participant of it.
Yes. So which
has been a great tool for us.
This diagnostic is great for teams. It's great for couples. It's great for families. I mean, we've had many. We make it funny because we're actually closet comedians. When husbands and wives or couples do these, and there's bigger discrepancies, let's say, between one. Well, let's say one's a very strong on Fact Finder and the other one's very strong on Quick Start.
Mm-hmm.
We can have a little fun with, okay, so when like you go out to dinner, is Donna the very long quick Fact Finder asking the server all different kinds of questions and drilling into how is this prepared and where is it from and all of that, and your eyes are rolling in your head as a 9 Quick Start because you just want the prefix menu and can I have it now, please? Right. So there's some humor that can come out of recognizing the differences between partners.
Humor and healing.
Oh, sure.
Right?
Absolutely.
I mean, I know that's funny, right? That we're sitting here envisioning a situation where you're ready to order, and whether it's Beth or Amy or some mystery person we're talking about is sitting there asking the waiter 1,000 questions, and, well, I'm not sure yet. Give me another minute, and I'm ready to eat my left hand.
Yes.
As funny, as these closet comedians can make that, there are, over time, relationship implications where that can cause problems when we're not aware of these style differences. The number of times you and I have been told that some of these diagnostic tools and what you've helped us become aware of within our relationship has been so much more valuable for the health of our marriage than anything you could ever do on the
money side.
I mean, we love the growth and we love the protection and how you got us in cash in 2022 and got us out of the market and away from all that crap. But holy cow, the value of how we can communicate better now as partners in a marriage. Thank God we're in the financial planning business.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the SIC code, I think.
Absolutely. All right. So, Colby, if you haven't yet been convinced that this could be a valuable tool for you, go visit.
And you're a fact finder.
Right.
Ha, 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 ha.
You or someone on your team probably need to go online and do a little bit more homework with Kathy's Colby A tool. Or you can go to our website, gebhardtwholewealth.com, connect with us, and let's help you use that Colby tool the most effective way it could help you kind of uncover some of this stuff for you, your family, your business.
Love it.
We love the tool. Okay, Colby tool. Once we've kind of figured out how you operate, what we want to discover next is how you actually see the role of money in your life. And we have a couple of diagnostic tools we like to use here. The first being our Dreams and Visions worksheet. Tell me about it.
It's just a great way to get it down on paper, right? If you're in
Get
the
what
quiet,
on paper?
Well, your dreams and visions.
There you go. That makes sense.
In the sense of being up in the quiet, and you really start to think about, okay, is it 3 years from now? Is it 5 years from now? Is it a grander vision that's 10 years out? What does this look like? Where do you want to be? Where do you want to be living? I think one of the greatest dividends from COVID is the portability of life, the flexibility of being able to be anywhere doing a job if you're still doing a job, or this whole movement, like, our dear friends Glenn and Joyce, they live places for 30, 60, 90 days at a time.
Sure.
Right? The whole advent of the VRBO and the Airbnb and all this stuff.
Yeah, one of the cool ways the pandemic happened for us, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, when you have the time and the space and the quiet to think, right? You're out of the hubbub of the day-to-day of raising a family, running a business, right? Just all of that chaos that surrounds day-to-day life. When you can step out and you can start to think about, okay, what is the vision here? Where do Beth and I want to be in 10 years? And for us, we said it's the house that we just remodeled.
Sure.
We want to be here. And do we want to flit and move and take time away? Yeah, sure. But this is home base.
Yeah.
And we put the roots deep in the ground. For other people, when we meet them all the time, we're moving. As soon as junior is out of high school and halfway through college, bye-bye.
Yeah.
We are wherever, right? Fill in the blank.
Right.
So this dreams and visions exercise is really just, again, sometimes it's some of the first times we've seen grown adults actually like sit and take the time to do this, because this is homework we're giving them. We're not doing this in their presence.
Right.
They get to go think about what it is that they really want to be doing in some different categories.
What I love about it is we're kind of setting people up with societally the dreams and visions that we're supposed to be thinking about. Like what you and Beth are contemplating, what you just described, this idea of do I stay or do I go in retirement, right? That's just a traditional thing, a standard thing that people will start to think about as they get closer to, what's next, life after work. And what we're trying to identify is actualizing a complete change, different direction, moving away, something that is heart's core, something you feel obligated to, something that you see as maybe fun to do, but not a reality? Or is it completely not applicable and not on your radar?
Right.
What I like is we're giving people, okay, here are the things society tells us we should be thinking about, right? Is our money for us, or is it to take care of our family? Should we be thinking about a new career? Should we be thinking about staying or going? All of these things society says we're supposed to be contemplating. And what we're trying to do is figure out, of these main planning categories, what really is at your heart's core versus what do you kind of feel is more of a societal obligation, like I'm supposed to take care of these people in my life and I'm kind of feeling this have-to conflict, right? Or is there something that is kind of on that fun-to list where, yeah, I mean, it'd be kind of fun to explore that, but I've never really given myself the time to sit down and explore it. And maybe you guys can help create that space for us.
Right.
So starting from that 30,000 foot of how you actually see and actualize your future and how it connects to money, right? How you see your money supporting you versus the other players in your life, the other people in your life.
Well, and this exercise, this conversation is absolutely vital to the success of the business owner post, right? Post-work, post-transaction, post-liquidity event, post-sale, whatever you want to call it.
Please say it again. Please share the statistic again.
Oh, it's staggering. 75% of all business owners who successfully complete a transaction to sell, which
sell the business.
That's a whole separate conversation about how few are actually able to have a successful transaction.
Right.
But 75% surveyed 1 year after the close of the sale of the business regret the decision.
Because?
And it's not the money.
Because?
Because they haven't done the personal planning. Again, not financial planning, but they haven't spent the time in what we're going to use our words in dreams and vision land on how are they going to have a meaningful, fulfilling post-work phase of life, what we often will refer to as life 3.0, right? Life 1.0 was before work in the business. Life 2.0 was during work in the business. And now life 3.0 is post all of that.
Absolutely.
So if there's no game plan, the statistics are most people are miserable.
Right.
And one of our core missions at Gebhardt Group is to help the entrepreneur do a beautiful job of preparing. Because this isn't going to...
For what's next.
This isn't happening over like 30, 60, 90 days.
Right.
This is going to take time.
Yeah,
this is going to take years
Yeah.
to develop. But guess what? If the journey doesn't start with the first, if the journey of the 1,000 miles doesn't start with the first step, you're going nowhere.
That's where really Dreams and Visions gets us in motion, and it starts because it's going to help us uncover how much you see money as a tool to support yourself versus others. How much do you see providing financial security for other people your responsibility?
Right.
And
taking your temperature on this stuff.
Absolutely. Do you see your money as a tool to having more impact in Life 3.0? And what might that begin to look like, right? That's the foundation for being able to figure out, well, depending on the answers to these vision questions and depending on the answers to the financial life checklist, which we're going to get into in a minute, that's going to start setting the turn-by-turn directions of how we actually plan for that time going forward.
I'm thinking of an entrepreneur who was an insurance broker, had his own insurance, small brokerage agency. And we went through this exercise and he said, had all the money, had all the trappings, had the cars, had the house, had the place in Tahoe, all that. Money, there was no lack of money. But he was bored off of his ass. And I said, what would you really like to be doing? He's like, I just really wanted to be a high school football coach.
Cool.
Really? Yeah, but I knew I couldn't make a living at that, so I went into the insurance business. Okay. So what do you want to do about it now? Well, I love kids. I love working with kids. I love coaching kids at the high school level.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. What would you like to do about it now? Well, I love coaching kids. And what would you like to do about it now? And I was a bit of a pain in the ass, as I often can be. And he came to the realization that, he could go volunteer as an assistant. He had the ability to, make his schedule, right? He's an entrepreneur.
Yep.
And he started as the assistant coach on the JV basketball team.
Oh, cool.
And worked his way up to assistant coach on the varsity football team. And it became an unbelievably fulfilling phase of his life because he wasn't at a loss for what he was going to do with all of this time post being an insurance broker.
Yeah.
Right?
Let's stay with that example for a second. How much did he share? Because you've shared that story with me before. I didn't know where you were going at first, but then I remember you've shared that. What I'm curious about is how involved was his partner? I assume he's married?
Yes. 3 kids.
How involved was his spouse, his wife, in like the conversation about this is what I've always wanted to do?
Fully supportive, tired of hearing about it.
And him not doing something.
Taking any action.
So that's awesome.
And his wife she's a lovely person, but she can be a bit of a hammer. And
in what way? Just
a driver, just
total accountability partner kind of
bang,
thing?
bang. Why, just do it. Right?
Huh. Funny how we entrepreneurs tend to attract accountability partners like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so she actually was like relieved.
That's awesome.
That he did it.
That's so cool.
And they were clients forever because we didn't cook our food spicy enough. But I see them walking the dogs all the time, and then, they come walking by, and it's always super pleasant. And I get to talk with Rob about, how are the boys looking this year on the football team? And if the wife's walking by, we have it elevates the relationship when you're willing to go get in the weeds on some of these topics.
Sure.
And help discover what are some of those stepping stones to get them to move forward.
This is so critical that the reason I'm bringing this second half of the story up is it's so critical that your partner be a part of this conversation. Because I've recently experienced an example where the partner was not part of the conversation of what's next, and it left an absolute mess and a disaster. I came across...
That's going to be a struggle.
We got a referral from a friend of a woman who's recently widowed. She lost her husband about 1.5 years ago, and she has all this resentment over how he retired and basically put all of his effort into being a part of the local Little League organization, and how he gave away all of his services as a professional, which I'll leave anonymous what he does. But all of this money was owed to his business that he just let people off the hook on because he wanted more from his money than just more money. He was that type of entrepreneur that there was something else besides just making money and
Well,
having impact in my community.
But bringing it back to your analogy earlier about being good at the craft.
Yes, he was great at the
versus
craft,
running the business.
not great at running the business,
Right.
and horrible at communicating with his partner what he saw in Life 3.0 and the kind of impact he wanted to have. And they started to kind of drift off and live very separate lives. And now he's gone a couple of years. There's a lot of resentment that's been built up. And as a result of not being part of that conversation, there's a lot of damage that's been done.
Oh, yeah.
And a widow who feels very disconnected
Yeah.
from her ability to be confident about her financial future.
Yeah.
Just because that didn't happen.
That's sad. That's very sad.
Having an accountability partner, whether that's your spouse, your business partner, a friend, a sibling, just somebody in your life that can be a part of this with you, right? Especially if you're married, especially if you have a partner. This dreams and visions conversation, you and I will not have it with just the entrepreneur. We're going through that right now, where we have a new entrepreneur we're working with. And initially there was a little pushback. You know, my wife, she doesn't like talking about any of this stuff. It's not her thing. Cool.
Great.
We still need to get to know her. She
Yes.
needs to be part of this conversation. And
Yes.
I promise you, this is not going to be all about money.
Yes.
Right? And so bringing that partner in is so important to have it, especially when we go from dreams and visions to what's next. And that's the financial life checklist.
Ooh. You know who likes checklists?
Who likes checklists?
My bride.
Oh,
She doesn't like when I say my bride.
no.
My wife.
Oh, there you go.
I think bride is more of an elevated. I mean, it takes us back 27 years to a younger, carefree time in our life. Wife just seems more pedantic.
Okay.
That's the word of the day for Kevin.
Is Kevin still with us?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Absolutely.
Hi, Kevin.
Absolutely.
Thanks for being here today.
Oh, she loves checklists. Checklists are like, I mean, most of the people on our team who happen to be strong at follow through love checklists.
Sure. It helps with the follow-through process.
So this one is more, I think of it more of like an X-ray.
Yeah, it's a snapshot.
It's a snapshot of a gabillion different little categories in money land, insurance land, in budgeting land, in estate planning land, right?
Yeah, health insurance land, every aspect of life that money touches.
That lets you self-evaluate, right? And the scores are generally speaking on the lower side of the curve because culturally we just don't talk about this stuff. That we don't educate ourselves on this stuff.
It's a checklist on, I think, 26 different financial items and how satisfied are you with your progress in these areas, 0 to 5.
Yeah, it's a self-grading.
Yeah. How satisfied are you with your level of financial education? How satisfied are you with your level of benefits at work, with debt?
Your investment
with
choices.
Investment choices, investment knowledge, with the professionals you work with in life, with how you emotionally handle
money conversations.
Right? How satisfied are you with all of these different aspects of your life? And it's a wonderful, wonderful snapshot to see how you feel about all the places where money touches you in your life.
And what we're looking for, again, no rights and wrongs, no judgments, no nada on what the scores are, what the X-ray says. What we're looking for are the outliers, the ones in the fives.
And where you and your partner are on different pages.
The overlap.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I call it an X-ray, because if we took both of their forms and held them up to the light, we could see where the overlaps are and where they're not.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And generally, those are some friction points where they're off pages. Or there's friction where they're like both on the same page about something on the low end, because more it's a frustration. Like they don't know how to deal with the budgeting. They don't know how to deal with the level of debt that they're stuck, right? And this is where enter stage left, what you and I love to do. So the whole point of the exercise is it's not meant to be super heady. It's meant to be a snapshot.
Yeah.
That you go through and you rip off the answers to this. I would like us to kind of bring these back to clients several years later.
Yeah.
3-4 years later to see how they rescore that. So for Lindsay, who's listening to this, there's a new project for you to start to implement in reviews that are, let's say, 2+, 3+ year relationships.
Sure.
Because it does change, right? It does. Let's say Colby doesn't necessarily change in terms of the conative scoring.
Sure.
your situation and stage of life with this financial life checklist is going to evolve.
Sure. Your Colby score is cognitive wiring. It's how you operate as a human. The financial life checklist is about capabilities and how you feel about certain financial capabilities in your life. And if we're doing our job, which is why we do this assessment in the beginning, is to see where there are potential vulnerabilities, where you're not feeling the most confident in yourself or the most clear about how to get from where you are or where you want to go, and therefore you lack a sense of capability. This is the worksheet that allows us to kind of uncover where some of your strengths that we can harness and leverage and some of your vulnerabilities that might be contributing to why you've got some places financially in life where you're feeling stuck. And if we go address those early in the process, in the financial planning process, and turn those into goals, which we're going to get to in a couple of episodes down the road here with the next couple steps. When we turn some of those vulnerabilities into capabilities, then my expectation would be in 2 or 3 years when we rescore this test, we got a whole bunch of new scores, a whole bunch of new capabilities that give us a sense of financial confidence that help us get from where we are to where we want to be.
The other thing that you and I are looking for when we go through the checklist with someone again, this is homework. They've done it on their own. They're not like sitting under our watchful eye doing it. This is total blind spot land. You and I are always looking for the blind spot that the entrepreneur and the spouse can't see. That's the definition, by the way, of a blind spot,
right.
In case you didn't know. But also the triage moment. Where is the patient bleeding out? What is an absolute raw part of their financial life?
Yeah, what could sink everything right now that you're working for?
And it still blows my mind all these years later how often that's estate planning.
Yeah. I'd say that's number one. That's number one.
That is estate planning. I had a review with a longtime client yesterday, and he's moved a couple times from Reno to Santa Rosa, now up to not too far from the 13th hole at Pacific Dunes in Oregon.
Okay.
And I said, Chris, what's on your must-do list? Like, you got to do this before the end of the year in financial land. He's like, I got to do my estate plan.
Yeah.
I said, okay, do you have people that you are going to reach out to? Do you have qualified people in your area to do this? Oh, yeah, my brother's got a guy. I really like him. I said, okay, will you make a commitment with me today on when you will have that done by? Again, get the anchor an inch off the bottom of. I'm not asking him when he's going to have the estate plan done. When are you going to call your brother's guy?
Okay, what did he say?
Within the next week.
Did he?
Within the next week.
Oh, okay.
It was yesterday.
Oh, this was yesterday. Sorry.
No,
I didn't hear that part.
It's all good.
Okay.
So I've set a little tickler for myself to go ping him and say, did you talk to the guy about the thing? Huh?
Yeah.
And this triage mindset that we use.
Can I put a bet down right now?
Sure.
I'm going to bet you $1 he doesn't do it.
Well, I was going to bet you $1 he didn't do it.
Oh, you were going to take the he didn't do it?
Yeah.
No, I called it first.
Okay.
So you got the $1 that he does do it. Because
okay.
I owe you more money on the $1 bet anyways. This is a way for me to get a buck
back. Get it back, yeah.
And here's why I say that.
Go ahead, teach. Come on, teach.
The law of diminishing intent says...
What was that?
The law of diminishing intent says that every day you don't do something that you're committed to doing, your intent to do it exponentially diminishes to where if we're 2 weeks out, the intent is at 0. It won't happen. So one of the things that I know we're trying to do more is in a situation like that, it needs to go on your calendar right now. When are you going to do it? Not within, but give me the day and the time that it is on your calendar. And best is how about you do it as soon as we hang up the phone?
That's a good one. That's one of my favorites. Right?
That's the only way it gets done for me. Is it either needs
like
to happen now.
I like to follow the law.
Sure.
I'm a law-abiding citizen. So if the law of diminishing intent, if it's a law, I've got to follow it.
Exactly, like the laws of gravity. Thank you, John Panette. Very good. Very good. Good reference. That, to me, for holding somebody accountable to get that done, it either has to happen now or it has to be scheduled. If it's not on my calendar, as a busy entrepreneur who's very easily distracted by a squirrel running in front of my face, If it's not on my calendar, it's not going to get done. For me, that's the ultimate to-do list.
Who doesn't want to talk about death?
Oh,
And what happens to my stuff when I'm dead?
that's why we call it graduation and crossing the Rainbow Bridge and all these lovely, pleasant things.
I love the way you've repatriated some of these terms, but I mean, estate planning does feel very daunting.
Yeah.
And
Sure.
as I reassured the client yesterday, I'm like, really, the only thing you have to think about is who would you want handling your stuff, your what's called the successor trustee.
Yep.
If you're gone, you need 3 of them.
Right. Who handles your stuff
Two
and
would
who
be
handles
great.
your decisions?
2 would be great,
Right.
but 3 would be better. And that's in financial land. And then healthcare wise, who would you want making decisions on your behalf?
Right. Who handles your stuff if you're not here? And who makes decisions for you if you're here and you can't make decisions?
Right. Develop that list, and then you can march right into the estate planning attorney's office, and literally they'll have it done in a couple of weeks. Because
Absolutely.
the rest of right now, estate planning land is if you're below the $27 million threshold of net worth, and don't compliance hold me to that. That's in the neighborhood. I'm not even in the street address, but I'm definitely in the neighborhood on that number. Which that sunsets next year in
Sure.
the end of 2025.
The $27 million threshold of what? Being
Husband
able
and wife each having 13 and change of net worth that they can pass estate tax free.
to the next generation.
Yes.
Okay.
So if you're under that number in terms of a net worth, the planning really isn't that complicated, and it's something you're going to be able to knock out in a month or 2.
Well, it's a different component to the estate planning concept, right? You and I are sitting here. What we're seeing is the basics of just who handles your stuff.
Yes.
And who makes decisions for you when you can't.
Yes.
Is one component to the estate plan. Then if you're fortunate enough to have amassed an incredible amount of wealth, then we've got to have a second level of estate planning that deals with the whole taxation of that estate.
Yes.
When it goes from you to your heirs, to your children, to your charities, to whomever you decide is getting it.
That is a lengthy process.
And that's a whole different ball of wax that will be part of the show, not necessarily part of the teaching curriculum here, because what we need to do is start, right?
Yeah.
We need to start.
Well, and here we sit in the fall of 2024.
Yes.
And this is going to sunset at December 31st, 2024.
Yes.
So, sorry.
And we've been
Sorry. December 31st, 2025.
And we've been advised by several estate attorneys that are friends of ours. Right.
Don't wait.
Right. If
this is a process.
Yes.
Particularly with very significant estates that takes time and thought and energy and research, and it's iterative. You got to look at how does this look and what do we think about this, and you've got to have time for you and your partner to make decisions on. It's a lot, right? And getting in motion is step 1.
Yes.
But not to get too down the rabbit hole on the financial life checklist, but that's the one that traditionally we see time and time again is, we haven't done anything on that area.
Well, because it's important, but it's not urgent. It never has been urgent.
Well, unless you're dying.
Unless you're told you have to go in for open heart surgery and get a valve replaced, right? I mean, that's what did it for me.
We got a lot done when you had that happen.
Well, look, Amy and I did our estate plan when Miles was born. We did everything we were supposed to do when you have that first baby. We got the trust. We got
some insurance.
The will. We got some insurance. We got some powers of attorney. We got the guardianship. And then we stuck it on a shelf and we never updated it. We didn't add the second kid to it. We didn't change it from the state of Washington to the state of California. When we moved here, we didn't do anything because it was always important and it was always back there, but it was never urgent until it was. What I'm going to say to the entire tribe and why we've gone down this kind of tangent ramp here on estate planning when we're really talking about the whole financial checklist is there is some urgency here. I mean, you and I think do a brilliant job in our financial planning process to keep urgency outside the room. Right. We never want to bring the pressure of making a financial decision under pressure now.
No.
Right. Time, space, never an urgent
If
thing.
emotion's in the room when you're making big decisions, that's bad.
And urgency can cause a lot of emotions.
Yes.
We're bringing this up that if you have yet to start or you haven't been with an estate attorney for years and years and years, because you did like me and you did this 20 some odd years ago, there are some changes coming by the end of 2025 that should be motivating you to get into action. And if you need some help getting in action, talk to us. We have an unbelievable network of highly qualified, incredible human beings called estate planners that you and I have created incredible personal and professional relationships with that it would be a pleasure to introduce you to our network of people.
Yeah, and if you're not in our area where they can serve you due to licensing, they've got their own networks that we can reach out to and help find, if you're in Panora, Iowa, we can help find an estate attorney that's in Des Moines.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, good work on kind of starting this 30,000-foot view of where we are and where we're trying to go. Because now that we've established a little bit of the dreams and visions and how we see our money supporting us in life, and now we've kind of gone through the inventory and the self-check of how we feel about all of these different areas of where money touches our lives, now it's time to get into the next big diagnostic tool here in the whole vision space, and probably the most important part of the work that we do. And that's what we call the Clarity Compass.
Hey, Tribe. Ace here. We all know the guys can get a little carried away once they get on a topic they're so very, very passionate about. And I think that's what's happening here. So before we get into Clarity Compass, we're going to take a break, give you some time to digest defining the story. There are some great pause points in the episode for you to reflect on. We look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks to continue the story on the Clarity Compass.
Thanks for joining us today on the Whole Wealth Journey. Whatever your path may look like, our purpose is to make sure that your way forward aligns with your core values and intentions. Are you ready to start planning for a future that's rich in wealth and well-being? Then click like and subscribe and make sure you don't miss a single episode of the Whole Wealth Journey.
So if we've struck a nerve with you today, where do people go?
You can find us at GebhardtWholeWealth.com. That's GEBHARDT wholewealth.com. And once you get there, make sure you connect with us so you can take the first steps to finding your why. We'll see you next time.
Jim Gebhardt is a registered representative of and securities offered through Brokers International Financial Services, LLC, member SIPC. Jim Gebhardt and Matthew Grishman are investment advisor representatives of Gebhardt Group Incorporated, a registered investment advisor. Brokers International Financial Services, LLC, and Gebhardt Group Incorporated are not affiliated. The opinions in this podcast are for informational purposes only and are not intended to provide specific advice or investment recommendations. To determine which investments or financial advice may be appropriate for you, consult a financial advisor prior to investing. Any reference to market performance is based on historical information, and there is no expressed or implied guarantee of future performance. Opinions expressed on this program do not necessarily reflect those of Brokers International Financial Services, LLC. The topics discussed and opinions given are not intended to address the specific needs of any listener. Gebhardt Group Incorporated does not offer legal or tax advice. Listeners are encouraged to discuss their financial needs with the appropriate professional regarding your individual circumstance.